Donald Trump has finally turned on the one health expert who has been the most careful to avoid offending him, and that's Dr. Deborah Birx. She's the health expert who tries to find ways to sugarcoat the absolute devastation this country is experiencing in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. And so recently she said something that Donald Trump didn't like, and he turned on her. It all started when Speaker Nancy Pelosi actually criticized Dr. Deborah Birx for sugarcoating some of Trump's nonsense. And here's what she had to say about Birx, and then we'll give you Birx's response.
You accused Dr. Deborah Birx of the coronavirus task force of spreading disinformation about the pandemic. Is that true? And do you have confidence in her?
I think the president is spreading disinformation about the virus, and she is his appointee. So I don't have confidence there. No.
I just wonder why single her out, given the president leading really the effort.
Well, what happened is that we had a conversation about how we stop the virus. And when we did, they were making contentions about how tracing isn't a valuable thing, we shouldn't do it. I said, well, that's not what most scientists say. And they said, well, we'll bring a scientist to say that. I said, well, sure, it's not Dr. Birx, because I don't have confidence in anyone who stands there while the president says, swallow Lysol and it's going to cure your virus. No, I think that she has enabled, but it's not about her. It's about the American people.
So Dr. Deborah Birx, by the way, I mean, there's a lot of truth in what Nancy Pelosi is saying there. And Anthony Fauci, I think, has done a better job in balancing his relationship with Trump and also making sure to share actual relevant information, accurate information with the American people. That's been a very difficult balance to strike. And that's exactly the reason why we've seen Trump go after Anthony Fauci more aggressively on social media. But Deborah Birx was asked about Nancy Pelosi's statements, and here's what she said in response.
We are beginning to see an impact from the mitigation procedures that many of the state and local officials have put into place. But I want to be very clear, what we're seeing today is different from March and April. It is extraordinarily widespread. It's into the rural as equal urban areas. And to everybody who lives in a rural area, you are not immune or protected from this virus. And that's why we keep saying, no matter where you live in America, you need to wear a mask and socially distance, do the personal hygiene pieces. But more importantly, if you're in multi-generational households and there's an outbreak in your rural area or in your city, you need to really consider wearing a mask at home, assuming that you're positive if you have individuals in your households with comorbidities. This epidemic right now is different, and it's more widespread, and it's both rural and urban.
So Trump didn't like that honesty and said the following on Twitter. So crazy Nancy Pelosi said horrible things about Dr. Deborah Birx, going after her because she was too positive on the very good job we're doing on combating the China virus, including vaccines and therapeutics. In order to counter Nancy, Deborah took the bait and hit us. Pathetic. Now, as we know, a lot of people have died from this pandemic. The situation is not getting better. The virus is spreading rapidly, and this administration has not done a good job. But Woz, obviously jump in and share your thoughts.
It's so telling that he just doesn't understand the strategy, right? Like, he did the job of connecting the sort of carnage to his administration. Her describing what's happening out in America, he went ahead and connected it to himself. She didn't say anything about Donald Trump. She didn't say this. She just was like, look, man, it's getting crazy out there. There was a sort of feeling at first that this was something that only the blue states were getting, that only the coast, the New Yorks, the San Franciscos, the Seattles were getting, and that you were safe in your rural town in Wisconsin, right? And so she's just like, look, that's no longer the case. Stop thinking that, that's not the case. But this guy he just can't help himself. He goes ahead and connects himself to, the bad things that are happening out in the country, because he can only think in the binary of for us, against us. Birx came out and sort of, I don't know, did the job of a freaking healthcare or medical expert and just explained to people like, this is how you should be behaving with this pandemic still spreading. He just couldn't abide by it. It's like the idea that she wouldn't go out and be a Donald Trump lackey was signs that she was disloyal, and therefore he had to crack down on her. It's just so stupid, because he misses the point of just being like, why would you just not want to just distance yourself from that kind of stuff?
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.